Hey there, Coach. Hey, we're back. How you
Man, Val,
doing?
good voice. How you doing tonight, girl?
Well, it is, I want to say, a very, very busy evening.
Well,
There's a
it's
lot
fall.
going on.
It's fall. Finally, it's fall, Val.
I know. I'm really happy about that as well. Like I wanna celebrate it. The first weekend of fall was warm, but fall has crazily returned. Like it's chilly in the shy.
Man, hey, if I feel like we still walking in Africa in the jungle down here in Nashville. It was
Oh, so that means
94 the other day.
94 degrees in Asheville. What in the world? I can't
And
believe
then
this.
now we got to fight this hurricane for the next 3 days, and that's going to be something else.
Oh man, that's gonna be crazy. Well, all I say is welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Interlude Extra Presents Talk on Tuesday. It's myself and Coach Tony, and we're getting ready to roll it in. Here we go. Woo woo. It's Interlude Extra Presents Talk on Tuesdays, and we're back live and here in the chat. Of course, we want to thank our affiliate sponsor, KeySpot. Connect, share, and grow your small business. We love and appreciate Cynthia McAllister, who is our affiliate sponsor for that. And of course, a DJ saved my life. It is part memoir, part ABCs of starting your own podcast. Please go ahead and scan the QR code or visit purelighthouse.media.net to pick up your ebook copy. And of course, if you would like information on how to start your own podcast, please visit and join our community over at Patreon. And that's patreon.com/interludes. We're still building it out. It's becoming big. But anyway, it's just a beautiful thing. And ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Coach Tony. Oh my
Man,
gosh, what a wonderful time. And please give us a shout in the chat. How was the first weekend of fall for you, sir?
busy. It is basketball time. When fall gets here, Val, my team is not liking me right now. It is preseason. We're on the grind. We are running. We're lifting weights. We're doing track work. We're doing ball handling. We're doing shooting drills. Hey, it's fun for me. I'm loving life. They may not love it, but hey, they're gonna say, Coach, I appreciate it in a few months.
I know. And I feel like you are a tough taskmaster. And I liked you were recently on Wise Going Live at 5. One of our people that always supports us in here in this space, and he always says 24 karat gold bars. But it was really good to see how you spoke about on that particular podcast just the mentoring and what it takes to really reach out to the young people and train them in sports, because you can use that in life.
Well, exactly. You look at it, Val. A couple of things here. We what's big going to happen this year?
For this year,
Yep.
there's a lot of things that's well for me.
It's only
I'm
one.
thinking the
It's only one thing that's the
only
biggest thing that's going to happen this year.
okay, you say it, because I'm thinking five different things. You might what's the other, what is it?
We got an election, right? And even though you and I
Oh, of
never talk
course.
politics, that's the biggest thing
Yeah.
going. So it is great
Mhm.
to be in position to be a coach and to talk a little politics at practice. Not so much of who I like and who's doing what, but just to listen to the young folks' mindset and what they're thinking
Mhm.
about. And then for me to ask them, oh, by the way, are you registered to vote? Are you voting? Are you this? Are you that? And then just to sit down talk a little futuristic politics and just, they're getting ready to graduate in a few years. And so, like, what are you planning to do? And how do you know what happens by the person that's going to be in the office? So when Jay Watt's going live at 5 was asking me about it, I said, it's things like that, Val, that made me feel better than being a coach because years down the road, my kids still reach out to me. They still call me, still invite me to weddings, still invite me to bar mitzvahs, baby showers, DJ a party for them, whatever. But it's cool because some of these kids walk away from high school and they never speak to their high school coach again, but they all keep in touch with me. So I give myself a pat on the back for that.
I know, I know. And like I said, it's really great that you're able to do that. I got a chance to go back to my second home over the weekend. I'd love to tell you about
Ooh,
it, Coach.
and
Now
why?
this, if you guys know what this is, I snapped this on the BQE. That's the Brooklyn Queens Expressway, and
Right.
it's like Lakeshore Drive for anyone that's in Brooklyn. But that's the view of the
Correct.
Verrazano Bridge. I used to live in the Bay Ridge area, so I got a chance to just kind of hang out and be in my own, I walk around my own stumping ground. Thanks
Got to the
to
barrel.
Percy. Thanks to
Got the
Percy and
water in the
Roxanne.
background to go. You had to go down to the lake for a minute, get the water on you. Yes.
Exactly. And thanks to Roxanne and Percy Monroe for hosting me this weekend. Appreciate their love. But of course, I went for a sneaker ball, Coach.
Oh man. Hey, you didn't
I
tell me that. Man, you got to give me the 411 like Mary J. Blige said.
it was really wonderful. And here's the thing: I'm the singles ministry that I was a part of in the New York ministry. When they do things, a lot of times they include all the singles. So we had people from ages in their 20s, right out of college, all the way up to the grandmother who was up there doing the bus stop on the dance floor. It was
Hey,
really fun.
hey, Grand, you come on, Val. She the grandmama at the wedding that's gonna bump you out the way to catch that. Girl, you better move on up out of here. You don't mess with Granny. And then you get Granny on the floor when she trying to do the cha-cha slide. Granny leading the cha-cha slide. You already know
I
that.
know, I know. So I had my sneakers on, having a good time, and this was a friend of two of my friends who I was close to. They became a couple. Oh, like about 3 or 4 months ago. I was like, this is shocking.
Wow. And Val, what's so funny, this is becoming pretty big. My boy, shout out to my homeboy from the D, living in the A. For those that don't know, the Detroit to Atlanta. And, he had his 50th, and I DJ'd, if you remember, a couple months ago in July, and early August. And he had a 50th sneaker party, and it was dope. He had like all these Jordans and ones and Nike flights around and special type of shoes and gear he got from Michigan and different things. And it was pretty cool. It was really. I said, man, this is something that I could do. I could definitely do a nice sneaker party. Everybody in there got on sneakers, and ain't nobody showing each other up. Just relax and lay back.
Yeah, we really had a good time. Now I snuck
How
out
many people was at the
early.
party?
Oh, it was well over 100. It was
Oh
really, it
wow,
was
yeah,
really fun,
that's
and there was good
oh
food,
yeah.
good finger food. Now here, Coach, these are a couple of ladies that were a part of the Brooklyn Women's Choir that I used to direct. So that's Barbara, Nicole, and Judy. So it
Okay,
was part of us reunited.
reunited, and it feels so
Feels so
good.
good.
Come
It's
on,
so
come on.
corny.
Hey, hey, you better tell Barbara, Nicole, and Judy, and they better be on. They better be on set tonight. They better be up on Interlude Talk on Tuesday right now. What?
Exactly. And our guest from last week, Veronica Hitman, don't you recognize her? She's
I,
there in the
hey,
middle.
I, man, I wish I'd have been. Man, we had a blast last week. I talked about that show. Veronica, hey, she good people.
I know. And she was on the phone and she saw me, she's like, ah! So I was she said I was fangirling out. I was like, girl, it's just me. You've known me for years. But anyway, a couple of singles on Sunday. Yesterday was it? No, on Sunday. A
Sunday.
friend of mine, Hans, organized. I don't know, about 20 of us, because it was a singles weekend. So we had people. They had young people doing the sermons, and then of course the sneaker ball on Saturday, and of course we hung out. And I was just having me a blast. And I was like, look, I came back to
That's
get
good.
immersed in the singles ministry, so I could take some of this fire, bring it back to Chicago. So
Right, man.
yes,
You
I was
like,
very encouraged.
man, your girl was looking at it, man. You like, what you want to do? Yeah, say what you got to do.
Yeah, I know.
And I like that. And
I
it looked like you
know.
guys were having a great time. That's the most important part about it. Looked like everybody was having a great time.
I know. I know. And I really appreciate, like I said, it was good to reconnect with folks that I had been in ministry with for over, 10 years. My apologies. Now, Mr. Springer, I didn't see him while I was in Brooklyn this past
Ah,
weekend because
man, Kenny Springer, you
it's
got to get on
okay.
Val about that.
I know. So I'm begging the forgiveness of Anita and Kevin. They're a couple. They married, but all the marrieds, they had service from home. They were not there physically at church, and I was like, but I wanted to see everybody. I'm friends with
Right.
everybody. The marrieds, the singles, the
Hey, you
children,
know
everybody.
things and change on this side. Dr. Dre told you that.
So I'm like, what's going on? Oh my goodness. But I
Who we
wanted
got
to
in the
let
house
you
tonight?
guys. Oh yeah, who is in the house tonight? We're gonna go ahead and see who is giving us a shout. And
Great
okay,
style,
there's
the fall
Mr. Springer.
preview.
Yeah, go Val. Brooklyn Sneaker Edge Party. Yes. And he said, you still cool with us, Val. Thank you very much. I
Hey, hey,
appreciate you.
hey, Ken, that's a quiet way of saying you need to send me a gift.
I have to make sure that I do this. I have to make sure that I
What?
do this.
What?
Yeah, but anyway, you know what? One thing that we did this, I think we called out a couple of series that we were checking out a couple of weeks ago, but now the fall season has officially kicked in and I'm just talking about TV and streaming. Now, I'm not talking about films. We'll do that on another Tuesday, but this is
Sure.
kind of like a fall preview of what is going to be happening on a couple of our networks and some streaming services too. I want to thank Kevin for definitely doing a lot of research for me. So I'm sitting up here thinking about what's coming back, what some of the shows that are great. Of course, this is one of my favorites, Coach Tony, is Abbott Elementary. They're back.
Oh, they be tripping.
Huh?
They be tripping.
Now they had the Emmys. Now I don't think Abbott won any Emmys this past around, but it doesn't matter because they're back. And like I said, the fall season is starting a little bit differently this year because of the 2023 writers and actors strike. So everything was on ice up until they resolved things. I believe it was either September or October of last year. So that just throws everything off a little bit, but it's just good to know that some of our favorites, some of the ones that we love are coming back. Now, of course,
Oh, man, that's nice.
and of course, are you a fan of the Chicago Fire, Chicago
Come
PD,
on now.
Chicago
I
Med?
wouldn't be from the side, baby. I would. And speaking of being from the side, shout out to Miss Shawana Jordan, ladies first sports agency. Shawana, I think I tried to connect with you on LinkedIn. You need to get with Coach Tony and get up on the podcast, up on the Pull Up Podcast show on Monday. That's what you need to do.
Mhm.
But thank you for checking in tonight. And come on, Val. Voight, Sergeant Voight, that's my man's in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
They show you how the CPD beat you down and be crooked at the same time.
Oh my gosh. It is cracking. It is definitely cracking me up. And like I said, I think if I'm looking at this correctly, let me do NBC first. For NBC, that's been renewed. So you see that Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, Chicago PD. There's
That's
another
the
show
three biggest.
renewed. Huh?
Those are the three biggest, by the way, if you didn't know about ratings. Those are the three
Right.
biggest.
And they're premiering the three of them are all premiering tomorrow night on September
Yeah,
25th. Yeah, they're all premiering
yeah,
on
Wednesday
tomorrow.
night. All
Right.
Wednesday night. You gotta catch the Chicago Fire because Lieutenant is now promoted to the big boys chair, and it's gonna
Mm,
be a transition. But then you gotta watch Chicago Fire because Voight got
mm,
kidnapped. And we gotta
I
see if he's gonna make it
know.
out. Come on now,
I
what you
know if he's
saying?
gonna make it. That was such a great season
Man,
finale. It was like, what?
great. What? Like Voight? Anybody else but Voight. You can kind of see it coming, but anybody else but Voight? Come on now.
Come on, it can't happen. So Chicago Fire, Med PD, they were all renewed. Also, another two series that started last year, Found and the Irrational, Law and Order SVU, which has been around now for 20
Ever,
plus decades,
ever.
20 plus years. Lopez and Lopez and Night Court. These are some of the
Man,
shows that have
have
been
you watched
renewed.
Lopez and Lopez?
Yes, I have. I checked. You know what?
Oh,
The first season is available on Netflix, so I checked it out on Netflix. I binge watched it.
hey,
It's funny as all
you
get
know,
out.
right. He gonna keep it crazy no matter how old George Lopez becomes. He gonna keep it cynical. Because I thought that Abbott be tripping, but Lopez and with his little smart aleck saying to the kids as a parent, oh man, it's classic.
Exactly. And let us know in the chat if there are any shows that you have a question about that you're like, is it coming back? I'm not sure. Another thing on the ABC network, some of the shows that are renewed, 911, Grey's Anatomy. Of course, we just mentioned Abbott Elementary. And then, of course, Dancing with the Stars. Last year, it was on Hulu only. I knew it wasn't going to last, Coach Tony. They have now
Hey,
moved it back to ABC because they knew nobody was going. Old folks
I
wasn't
gotta
paying for
jump on.
Hulu.
Man, they like, man, I'm up, And speaking of that, for
Hmm.
those that are listening, we got a great audience tonight, and we got a great audience around the social media. Besides making sure you share this, you make sure
Hmm.
you follow this, but you make sure you subscribe to this. And the reason being is I can't give up the name, but I am about to bring a mega star
Ooh,
to
ooh,
Interlude Talk on Tuesday. And we're going to
ooh.
talk about, you're going to find out about behind the scenes of Dancing with the Stars, America's Got Talent. I got a big, big heavy hitter. I mean, like a Barry Bonds or Sammy Sosa type heavy hitter.
Oh, I'm excited about that. I'm so excited about that, Coach. On the CBS network, I want to make sure I get around to that. Some of there are some new shows that are coming, and I don't have a picture for it, but I'm excited for the NCIS Origins. That's interesting. The Summit, and then Papa's House. That's the show with Damon Wayans
Right.
and his son, Damon
I
Wayans
can't wait to
Jr.
see that. They already been
That's going to
tripping
be
on the
fun.
commercials. Oh
I
yeah, they've been clowning on the commercials. So I can't wait to see the actual show.
Okay, and then Shamar Moore, who's pictured right here, his show was on the bubble to be canceled. Do you know social media went wild and they got
Oh yeah,
renewed
you
on
can, you can't
CBS?
you can't cancel him.
Mhm.
I think Samar Moore, like what, 119 years old. You can't cancel him. I'm saying he been on TV ever since I had on Pampers. So I
I
mean,
know.
and he's been from the hood of LA but turned to a cop. Come on, but we still love him though. You know what I'm saying? He ain't snitching.
I know. And like I said, it's interesting. Now, some of these shows are going to be doing their things. Now, going back to NBC, I can't believe it. It's been 50 years. Saturday Night Live returns for its milestone 50th season on this
Wow,
Saturday. And
50?
Jean Smart, the actress from HBO's Hacks, is going to be hosting. But I'm telling you, man, this is
Let
exciting.
me tell you
It's
something.
been 1974. That's when they came out.
Let me tell you something.
1974. Mm-hmm.
50 years. Do you understand the importance of the number? I might well go play 50-50 in the lottery. Do you understand the importance of that, Val? I mean, we got
Yeah,
50 years of SNL at the same time of 50 years of hip hop. Do you
I
understand
know.
that
Very
SNL
similar.
and hip hop came up together. They was in class tripping. They was cutting class together. They was out on the playground, you know what I'm saying? Running to the stove, 50 years of hip hop and SNL. And we got an opportunity to, in my personal opinion, see the best part of SNL during the Eddie Murphy days, during the heyday of Eddie Murphy, and everybody was on there. Tony, I mean, you can just go down the line. Everybody that was on SNL in the 80s went on to be megastars. Everybody.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, I don't know if you guys did this back in the day, but for me, I lived for Coach Tony for the TV guide that came out physically for the new season. I purchased it, or would subscribe to it. It would come to my house and I would read it like a Bible. I used to love those. Oh my gosh.
I was a little different. I was waiting on the jet just so I could see the jet beauty. I was waiting on.
You have lost your mind. You waiting on the jet, man. The beauty of the week.
I was posted at the door like this. Hey, I was waiting on the post. You remember the mailman used to come throw your stuff in Chicago. They weren't coming up on your porch, you know what I'm saying? They may break a window or whatever. Swing it off the street. I'm waiting on that the jet. Man, get the jet. I'm like, what? The jet? My mom was like, what you doing? Reading. I'm getting my read on, trying to learn more.
And you put something in between it so nobody would see what it is. CBS has got a whole situation happening here. I love that they got their whole thing. Now there's some things that's coming in the fall, some things that's coming in the spring. They got like the mid-season stuff like that. But of course, thank you so much, Mr. Springer. If you want any additional information on any of the new shows that are coming to any of it, Fox, ABC, NBC, Hulu, Peacock, please go to tvguide.com / and of course that link is for CBS, but they have it for all the rest of them too. And of course, and then thank you so much for that, Mr. Springer. He's putting up there the 50th season that's coming out. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Queen Bella. She is checking in from the ATL, baby. Of course, sending some love to us.
Hey, peace, A-Town down. She know what I'm talking about.
So anyway, so we're excited about the whole new season that's coming out. And like I said, we are going to swing it on back. And like I said, we're going to be talking about that weird topic in the room after this. We'll see you in 30 seconds. Here we go.
Hey, make sure you don't go to sleep, but keep your head up.
Looking to grow. Introducing the KeySpot mobile app. I'm Cynthia McAllister, owner of the IT company Quality SAP. Since 2016, we have been supporting small businesses and help them promote and share their businesses, services, and events across the country. KeySpot is more than just an app. We are a network providing community. KeySpot, connecting communities and supporting small businesses.
All right, Coach. All right, I think I need to get me a little bit of a sip right here. Here we go.
Yeah, I just took mine. Well, as the pastor say, well.
So as Charlemagne would say if he was on the Breakfast Club, we would say it's time to bring somebody to the front of the congregation. He's been brought to the front of the congregation often. I want to find a picture where he was smiling instead of frowning or whatever. But
he ain't smiling no more. His name is Diddy, but I actually call him Donnie.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is now, I think, our third episode just this year on this particular topic. And so we're going to be leaning into you, audience, to let us know what your thoughts are. And of course, I see Tina Michelle is here. She says, I made it. What's up, family? One of our guests, our former guest of
Tina Michelle, what's good with you, baby? What's good with you? You need to holler at me because Tony been trying to get out the pull-up and get up on the Tina Speaks on the TV side of the house. Come on, girl, holler at me.
Exactly. And then, of course, Bella says, word.
Bella knows she down there with Chocolate City. She already know that.
Exactly. And I like how Kevin said, as we proceed to give you what you need, the bad boy is behind bars. That's our topic for tonight right now. So so let's do this. I'm gonna do the I like to call it the journalist side of stuff. Let me make sure that I make sure that I
And I'm gonna do the foolishness side of stuff. So that's gonna be perfect tonight.
so we were wondering this, and I was gonna show a clip, but couldn't edit it fast enough for this broadcast. But back in March, it was our April 2nd episode that we did earlier this year. His homes got raided, and we were wondering why he wasn't arrested. We kind of talked about that. And of course, both myself and Coach Tony, we are DJs, me on the virtual side, Coach very much so in person with turntables and the like. And of course, the conversation for many of us that love music, we think about Sean Diddy Combs in the sense of he was one of the biggest producers of music that came out between the early to mid 90s all the way up until the 2000s and maybe a little bit in the 2010s. He has produced well over not one, not two, but 70 artists. He had his own reality shows and spit out groups like Danity Kane and others. And of course, he has been in the acting world. He was a person that was a part of a Raisin in the Sun. One of the actors, he played the iconic role that was originated by our dearly departed, I just forgot his name, Sidney Poitier. No. Sidney Poitier. He did the original role. Raisin in the Sun was written by Lorraine Hansberry, a Chicago playwright in the 1960s. I was thinking, why is he acting? But because, and we mentioned this back in April, his hand has been in almost every part of entertainment. And I heard someone earlier, and it's so much.
That ain't all his hands been into, Val. His hands been everywhere.
But I'm referring to legitimate, having his producing hands in everything, putting his name in everything. Do you remember, and I'll just throw this back to you. There was a Source Awards 1995, and who is this? I think it was Suge Knight. They had just started Death Row Records, and so Snoop, and what had happened was somebody had won, and Suge Knight says, "Yeah, come on over to Death Row. You don't want no one dancing in your videos and acting silly. You come here." And I was like, "What? Where?" And I thought about it and was like, "Oh, that's who he's talking about." You remember that?
I think the person that got the award was Mace or Junior Mafia had got it. And I remember that because right after that same Source Awards, Snoop, Warren G, Corrupt, Daz, and the Dog Pound got up and said, "What's up? What's up, East Coast? You don't love me? So East Coast ain't got love for the West? East Coast ain't got love for Snoop?" And then he cussed him out, threw up a middle finger and said, "Well, we at war then." And then we know what happened shortly after that.
Yeah. So well, I think we got Tina laughing over here. And yeah, I think and Tina remembers that as well. So according to CNN, this is what happened recently. Sean was arrested last week and was denied bail. The bail, I think, was set at $50 million, according to CNN. And of course, they put him in a special housing unit in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. I don't think he's there anymore. I need to confirm that. But of course, what we know is that he was denied bail and he was taken into custody. Prosecutors argued that he should not be released because he has previously, unfortunately, reached out to witnesses and victims. And the prosecutors allege that Combs created and ran a criminal enterprise. We're going to get into what a RICO is in just a second, but let me throw it back to you, Coach.
Well, a couple things. For those in Chicago, where he was originally at, it's like being down in Cook County on 26 in California, baby. You don't want to be
Mhm.
there. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is on this, Val, is that with Diddy's situation, you can't go to court and your bail is 50 mil and you offer a judge a house on top of the 50 mil. That already tells me that you're guilty. And then the judge said, I appreciate the house, but no, thank you. We're going to go ahead and lock you up in the county and we're going to have you
Mhm.
waiting. Well, kind of like Jeffrey Epstein's. When you got a list, again, not going back to count everybody, but from the information I've been able to gather from CNN to BET to Sway on the Morning to some stuff that Ice Cube talk about, I can go on and on and on. The difference between, and I hate when everybody tries to throw the R. Kelly situation or Epstein and this and that. This is a completely different situation. Epstein, he dealing with, the 47th who trying to get back in the White House right now. They had these special parties with these elitists. Kells was doing his thing, but on a high school level with girls, and the families made contracts. But this brother right here has got parties that has allegedly in the naming books people as Oprah Winfrey, as Will Smith, as in Quincy Jones, T.D. Jakes at some of these parties. He's got other people that's involved as a Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. And today I was listening to something while I was driving out of town today. I was listening to Sway in the Morning, and Sway was talking about this morning on his podcast, on his radio show, rather this morning, that there were situations where, again, as you and I were talking, when the feds come to get you on a RICO, anybody that's on air tonight will tell you, or they know. When the feds come to get you on a RICO, and many don't know that RICO is racketeering, majority. Racketeering is automatically 81 years off the top. And when the feds come and get you, they already got you. So Sway was saying that the feds, when they picked him up, they knew he was going to try to be a flight risk. That's why they got him on Tuesday night instead of Wednesday. He told them they're going to come get him on Wednesday. That was for publicity. They knew they was going to get him on that Tuesday night. But when the feds pulled up, one of the officers pulled his phone out, Val, and started flipping through the phone and told Diddy to stop him when he can see somebody he didn't know, didn't recognize, didn't know them by first name. And Diddy couldn't. When the feds come get you, they have everything they need before they come get you.
Okay. So allegedly, we'll just go ahead and make sure we throw that word in there, allegedly, real quick. All right. So what's a RICO? Let me break this down real quick. A RICO passed in 1970. That's what I heard. That's what I read. And it stands for Racketeering Influence. Correct. Let me get this out. Racketeering Influence Corruption Organization Act. It's like that's the acronym for that. And it's aimed to take down organized crime organizations. And the RICO Act was created so it can give prosecutors a full opportunity to take down what they perceive as an entire organization, not just one person, but an entire organization. And then also this RICO has been used to take down either gangs or politicians or something in that regard. I didn't quite understand. I didn't really get a real understanding of RICO until I watched Power. They broke it down in Power. Even though that's fictitious, I was like, oh, that's what that is.
Well, so that means I got to really hurt you, Val, because I love you. Because if you really want to know about RICO, you should have learned about that back during The Sopranos with Tony.
I didn't watch The Sopranos. I can say that out loud and not feel any shame, but I didn't watch The Sopranos. Sorry.
I love you. So that's okay. So yeah, you're breaking it down right now with the RICO with Power, and they're doing a hell of a good job because they're trying to get to RICO and all that stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you a Chicagoan like me. There's plenty of RICO charges running around Chicago back in the day from the mob. So, the RICO, one thing about RICO is that they don't have to have you physically with a gun in your hand, physically with a knife in your hand or a weapon. All they have to do is tie you to giving an order to take someone out. And in this case with P. Diddy, supposedly you have allegedly people such as Mike Tyson, people such as Suge Knight, people such as a couple of people that was around the situation in 93 who actually said they told people Diddy was the person that was on X, Y, and Z. Now, allegedly, if you remember the movie, you remember the part when Tupac got shot in the elevator, he was on his way up to the to meet with Biggie and all them?
Yeah, then that was in New York. That was
Correct.
in New
So
York.
that night, so allegedly what happened was during this time period, according to I forgot the guy's name who just did the interview. Shucks, it'll come to me in a minute. But according to him, he was like, you know, the night that Pac went up there to do that interview or actually spit on that track, that was the night that Biggie and Lil C's and Junior Mafia was doing something, and Diddy had no idea. So therefore, if you watch the movie, when they called Diddy like, what you mean? Who's in what studio doing what? He had no idea. And supposedly, from what the word on the street was, that Diddy had no idea that Biggie was making his own moves. He was trying to make a move away from the Diddy situation because he knew what was going on. And then when Pac got there and got shot, as he came off the elevator, everybody was right there. So you know what's happening with your body and your mind. If that ever occurs to you, you want to blame any and everybody that you see. And that's what happened. But the person that if you really want to get the inside story, Val, I had the opportunity to listen to Mace talk about this on the internet several times, and he broke it down in thrilling details that it wasn't nice.
And we had mentioned this last year on the podcast, and I want to make sure I mention this also. Tina Michelle says there's a lot more to this, and it's all intertwined. That is definitely big. That's definitely in it. But we had mentioned this on last year, around September of last year. Puff gave the, what do you call that? He gave the songwriters or the performers their rights to the music, because initially it was all under Bad Boy, and he says, I'm going to give it back to the artists. And to me, it didn't make sense. But here's the thing. Puff has been dealing with, I want to call it, things that have been going off and wrong for a very long time. Kevin Springer sent me an article a little bit earlier from usatoday.com, and some of the legal troubles that have followed Diddy started all the way back in 1991, and I was like, I totally forgot about, and this, I'll mention this one and then stop. But it was and this is according to USA.com. This was 1991. It was a New York City celebrity basketball event, and it resulted in a stampede, killing 9 people. He was not officially charged, but they were. But let me finish. A lot of the people, fans paid $20 to go in there, and they were supposed to play with the likes of Boyz II Men, Run DMC, Jodeci, Heavy D, and Big Daddy Kane. And this event was held at a basement college gym in Manhattan. But they said it got quickly out of control. A lot of those same people did not pay. But what ended up happening with this incident caused Combs at the time to get fired from Uptown Records. This was 1991.
And that was when he jumped out and started Bad Boy Entertainment. And at that time, in 91, what movie came out that portrayed and told that plus some?
Above the Rim?
Ding, 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 ding. Above the Rim. Above the Rim with Tupac.
But okay.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, as it was coming, it was portraying everything that had led up to that. And at that time, back in the day, I don't know if you remember or not, Val, this at the time you were in New York. They used to have the tournaments at the Rucker when Diddy and Fat Joe almost got into it with one another over the basketball teams. And supposedly, that's why Fat Joe put it in his record and said, hey, man, I don't want to talk about the Rucker, man. For me, matter of fact, we don't even have to talk about the Rucker. You got to know what Fat Joe was saying in that song and whatnot, because They were betting hundreds of thousands of dollars on those teams. This is the likes of Kobe Bryant was coming back. This is the like
Wow.
of people like that was getting these games. Eddie was there. I mean, these guys had Lakers coming back, Boston Celtics cats coming back. You had Stephon Marbury in these derby games. I mean, you had all these cats that was big time, and that's why Above the Rim kind of portrayed and showed that. And kind of go back to what Tina was saying a moment ago. This is extenuated because the difference is during this time period, at that time around the 93, 94, as Pac was getting ready to get shot and Biggie as well, Mike Tyson had already came on air and said that he had already knew that Diddy had something to do with it, because if you look at even the movie, from the movie, now this is based on what Mason said. If you listen to Mason's interview, Mason said, you know, at the time they were having these freak parties and so forth and so on, he wasn't getting paid. So him and Puff had a problem. So they kind of fell out with one another. And when they fell out with one another, you know, Diddy was trying to hold his money. And the night that they went to Vegas, Mason, he was supposed to have been there as well, but he didn't go because he said he wasn't going nowhere if he wasn't thinking about getting paid. So the only person that got invited was Biggie and Junior Mafia. But Biggie and Puff, they weren't even in the same vehicle, and only Puff vehicle got hit. No different than after Pac stomped my man on the chain snatching incident, leaving Vegas from the Tyson fight. Suge Knight in a car with him, my man pull up on the same side, and only Pac get hit, and you let off 16 rounds in the whip. Come on now, you know. And
Yeah.
when they
So,
broke this down, it's just too much, Val.
all right. So, USA Today, this another incident in 1999. Now, this is the one that I saw some. I can't confirm if it's true or not, but in 1999, the New York City nightclub shooting involving J-Lo and Shine. Now, of course, we
Remember
all
that?
know about that, and it's the most
Yep.
alarming incident because, you know, girlfriend at the time, Jennifer Lopez, and his
Yep.
bodyguard, Anthony Wolf Jones, allegedly got into a disagreement with
Yep.
Moses Shineborough, resulting in a gunfight, and it left 3 people injured. Now, uh, the person, her name is Natania Rubin, who has consistently claimed that Diddy was one of the men who was shooting. But after the police chase, Diddy, Lopez, and Jones and Burrow were all arrested. And of course, this was a jury trial. But then Burrow was the only one who was arrested, and then he ended up serving prison time, 9 years. And he said I forgot he was with Bad Boy. He was
Correct.
he was an artist.
That
He says
that
Diddy
ruined his career
this
almost.
is yeah, he says Diddy destroyed his life. I was
Correct.
defending him.
Yep.
So like I
Somebody got to
said,
go
this is
down.
kind of
I said, when you the mob and you at the top and you the boss, someone's got to go down. I'm not the man. You know, Val, you know, it wasn't until one of my homeboys pointed it out this summer while we were playing AAU basketball. We were
Mhm.
riding and whatnot. Go, if you guys have an opportunity, go pull up Bad Boy Records' greatest hits. There's a mix that you can listen to. It's got Biggie, it's got Mace, Lil C's, it's got Lil Kim, it's got Foxy, it's got Mary J. It's got a lot. The difference between these other guys that's been caught up is that if Diddy didn't go down for what he went down for, do you know how much music and how much money from remixes and airplay that these guys are getting 10 cents here, 20 cents there to add up for all these music? He'll be able to take down Mary, some Usher. He'll be able to take down, crazy situation. And, the one interview that moved me, well, 2 interviews. The one interview that moved me more than anybody was the interview that I listened to yesterday with Chris Brown. And Chris was talking
Oh.
about, at the time that he and Omarion was coming to, let's say, these freak parties. It was right after Diddy had supposedly was trying to get 50 uh signed in the Bad Boys. Remember, 50 just got shot 10 times. He's trying to figure his life out, so forth and so on, right before Get Rich or Die Trying. And 50 mentions the situation where Diddy tried to get him to come to one of these parties, and he was going to pay for everything. And Diddy didn't. I mean, 50 didn't like how they came off. He punched him. They got into a fight. You know, the rest is history. He signed with Dr. Dre at Aftermath. But when Chris Brown told his story yesterday, Chris said, you know, I never forgot that I was around 13, 14 years old, about 13, I think he said. And Omarion was a little older than me. And they went to Diddy's place. And Diddy looked at Chris Brown and told Chris, we're going to take Omarion because I don't like light-skinned brothers. They leave too many marks. And he didn't really understand what that meant. And then later on, he found out and was glad he didn't sign the Bad Boy. But, you know, D.L. Hughley this afternoon put it very quaintly. He put it very on point. You've got, I know you want to blame Diddy like Kells and Michael Jackson and so forth and so on, but you have got these parents. That's where it starts from. What parent gives these kids or give their kid at 11, 12, 13 years old to these guys and say, I'm going to make you a star? But you have to go back to these parents, and I don't know what they were thinking in their mind because the world ain't the same anymore. But a lot of this stuff, Val, is going back at that point. And Diddy had Bad Boy Records like a mob enterprise. Come on, Val. Go back to the 90s when Mary J. Blige was the queen of R&B with Kells.
Well, she worked with Sean, and then she stopped working with him. She got upset with him, and then I clearly remember the song that she brought him back on. It was the song "Could This Be Love" at First Sight, and Method Man did the rap for that, and I think that was the one that he supposedly produced. Let me say hello to LaTanya. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate that.
What's up, baby girl?
And then Mercedes on that beat. Have y'all seen the Kim Porter book? And what are y'all thoughts? Now, we definitely want to talk about that. I want to circle back around to that, but But here's the thing. Now, this was one of the couple of albums that Mase made with Bad Boy, and like I said, if all I have to say, guys, check out recent interviews with Mase online. Yep. I saw a few, just like Coach Tony did. It's disturbing, and I'm not talking about any of the freak off things or anything like that. Just what he did not provide financially, and what he took away from someone like who was considered his boy. They made some big hits in the 90s, and I knew something was off. Not off, but I knew something was up when Mase was like, I'm preaching now. I'm preaching. I'm like, you preaching?
Wow. I'm going out of here
right now.
Exactly right. But Beth, it wasn't only Diddy. That's what made me so mad. You know, you got to look at the industry. I mean, when they mention people like Clyde Davis and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and all this stuff, I went crazy. But you got to look at Tupac. As much as we love Tupac, and as much as Pac did, and as much as he, had an opportunity, I was looking at some things. Pac really didn't own any of his money until he got into the movie business because Suge Knight had him. Only thing Suge did is told Pac, you don't need no money. Just whatever you want, we got you. Right? What? It's the same damn thing happened during the NWA era. That's why Ice Cube bounced up out of there, right? Because of what was going on with Easy and Jerry Heller. So, you got to look at, back in the day, it was kind of like eye for eye, but the thing is, this is why I personally think, Val, some of the young cats that are in the rap game today, if they go back and listen to 50 years of hip hop, if they go back and just listen to the lyrics, if they go back and listen to what was being said and how it was, it'll tell you what was actually happening in the industry. Because if you go back and pull some of Biggie's greatest hits and listen to what he was saying, they told you on the record some of the things that they were doing, Val. Period.
Yeah, exactly. They were
But
very,
we was in the
yeah,
90s. We was in the 90s. We didn't know why is that, Val? Cause we was if you was in the Midwest and you was kicking it like me, shit, you was at SIU at the Kappa Carnival. And from Kappa Carnival, cause it got overloaded at that time. And what did that turn into, Val? Boom. Went down to A and my girl Bella's back door, and it went down to the A and turned into Freaknik. And then we know where that went to. So I'm telling you,
exactly.
that was a whole era, everything that was going on and doing Freaknik. I don't even want to describe that because I saw some insane stuff.
So now I want to. Now Tina was agreeing with you. I'm looking for her comment. She said, where is the parents give up their full guardianship rights to these people?" Like,
Right.
I think she's trying to say that when you come into the business, depending on where you are in there, if you want them to be a success, the lie that is told to the parent is, let us take control of everything, and we have you. Don't worry about it. We got you, and we'll protect them. We'll chaperone
And
them.
it's the front,
And
Val.
then
It's the whole
supposedly.
front. Yep. And it's the
Hmm.
whole front. You and I were talking about this today. What was the name of that Diddy show back in the day?
Well, it was mentioned. Tina Michelle had mentioned that there's 3 lawsuits with this show.
Yeah, but
Let
I just
me scroll, let me
what
scroll
was it?
back up.
What's it called? The Diddy Playhouse?
No, it was a reality show, and it was kind of like, one of them was called Making the Band. I do remember
Making
that.
the Band. Okay,
One of
perfect.
them.
So that's
Hmm.
it. That's it right there. So here it is right here. So I'm gonna put everything in a nutshell for you right here, real quick.
Okay.
So Usher just talk. If you guys haven't listened to it, go Google Usher's talk on Diddy. So Usher just said, I was listening to this on Sunday afternoon, Monday.
That's it.
Usher said that at 13 years old, right? I'm gonna go back and answer the question that you just said and what Tina just said about the parents. And Usher said at 13 years old, no old man around, single parent mama in chat, right down the street from me out of Nashville, hour 45 minutes to the south, hour 45 minutes north of Atlanta. So at that time, and what you just said, Val, you would assume that the parents think that I'm giving my child over to a responsible adult because I'm looking for those ends, right? Everybody
I
looking for
want
them
to,
ends.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
Usher said that when he had an opportunity, he was sent from Chattanooga to Minnesota to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. But when he got to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, that they told him that he couldn't sign to Jam and Lewis until he did a 90-day boot camp at Diddy's World at
Mm.
13 years old. So he was sent to Jersey, New York to hang out with Diddy. And he said he's seen some things at 13-year-old that some 13-year-olds shouldn't have seen. And he learned some game at 13-year-old he was able to use down the road. And then that goes back to your girl a moment ago. You talking about that, and she talking about some stuff happened to Usher during that time period, and she got some hospital records. So I'm telling you that nothing happens unless the parents give them total control. If the parents say, hell no, we ain't go, man, Diddy could have done
Right.
nothing about it. Nothing at
Right.
all. It wasn't like he gonna come inside your house, Val, and snatch your child away from you and say, yes, he is, Val. No, he wasn't.
Exactly. And of course, Mercedes on that beat says, then Dante came, Dollhouse, as
Identity game.
well as, and then we mentioned it. Tina Michelle mentioned it, Making the Band. Now let's get to, I think. Oh, and then Mercedes says they lie to even vulnerable young adults with no guidance. But
Correct.
this is some of the things.
Correct.
These are some of the things that have been coming. Now let's get to Kim Porter. Kevin Springer put the article up, and I'm going to give my thoughts on this. You did hear about the book. It's now a bestseller. The book that's out, supposedly, allegedly, by Kim Porter. What are some of your thoughts?
Well, the thing is, Val, when you look at the stuff that Kim said, just go back and look at Cassidy.
Hmm.
It's almost tick for tack. The monster in public, greatest man ever. Everybody loves him. Behind doors, evil giant. And because of the money And this is why you always heard him always say, if I need to find you, I can find you. He would always put in a lot of innuendos in his music. And as they said, when you're the mob and when you on top of that, I don't need to talk, man. Real bad boys move in silence. Biggie told you that on one of his records. So when Kim Porter's book came out, detailing the things that was happening to her, it was just stunning.
Yeah. So here's the thing. They're saying that this particular memoir is not hers. Now, she
How was that?
was very.
Who said that?
Now here, I'm looking at people.com. Now the cover of the book features her as a model. Now, Kim Porter was a model for a long time, and unfortunately, she died at age 47 of lobar. What is that called? Pneumonia in 2018. This is what happened with her, and it says that this was written by Jamal T. Millwood for Kimberly A. Porter, and a real name Todd Guzzle. And he self-published the book under this Millwood pseudonym. But here's the thing. No one's coming out to sue Todd or the person that put this out. They said Kim Porter's family is exploring all their options, according to a source. And they said Kim Porter never authorized a manuscript, and any claims suggesting otherwise are entirely false and fabricated. But of course, this book was released on September 6th. I haven't had a chance to look at it or read it, because once I heard this was alleged that she wrote this. But the biggest thing that's come out, and I've heard this both on the Breakfast Club and Sway and a few other places, the pneumonia, you can unfortunately die of pneumonia, but the claims that keep coming up with Puff is that she was going to release a manuscript under her name.
A tell-all. Right.
A tell-all. And usually when you start telling all, you are silenced.
Snitches.
Or, it's a snitch situation. And she's someone that was up close and personal, and she had 2 twin girls and a boy with Sean, because Sean has 6 kids, and his adopted son that Kim Porter also had with
everybody's been close to their case, pal. Everybody's just been close, and Al B. Short just got his son back, by the way.
Exactly. He just now, and according to Vibe magazine of Vibe.com, Al B. Short calls for an investigation into Kim Porter's death and the alleged original book notes. Now, he was involved with Kim Porter a long time ago, and but what ended up happening is that she started dating Puff Daddy, but there was an Essence magazine I'll never will forget that she was on the cover with Sean, and I was thinking, it sounds like they're in love. I didn't know anything at the time, but I was like, how come this man won't marry her? And then now with everything that's come out, it's like, you don't really like women. You really don't prefer women. That's right. That's crazy.
And Tina,
that bothers
Michelle
me.
said it all. And Tina Michelle said it all. I never forget.
What did Tina Michelle? What did she say?
88, 90. I got an opportunity. My sister, Lisa McPherson, professional models, and Do the Right Thing, Mo Better Blues, Lady in the Red Dress, a couple other movies she was in. Got an opportunity to hang out in New York. Got a chance to meet Spike Lee, his brother Kenny, Heavy D, and the boys, a couple other things. And Heavy D was getting ready to write a book on just what was going on with the Bad Boy situation and how that was musically. So, Heavy D was part of all of that stuff that was being going on. And Aaron Hall had turned to an alcoholic. So he wasn't able to release his stuff because he didn't feel no one was going to believe him, because they thought he would be probably on this alcohol vengeance, so to speak. But one thing I can tell you, as we bringing this down, is that the RICO charges that this dude is facing on RICO, just RICO, Nothing else. But just Rico is 81 years. Then he's facing another 25 on possible murder charges. And he's facing another 25 on underage stuff. And then if and I don't know if everyone is listening, no, but there was a young lady that also that knew Beyonce and Jay-Z last year trying to come home from Texas, ended up being missing. They found her dead. Supposedly that was some stuff that between Jay-Z and Diddy. But I'm telling you right now, Jay-Z, if you can hear my voice, I'm telling you, man, get your house in order. Because I'm telling you, there's some people right now, I'm telling you, they already mentioned Will Smith. They done mentioned all type of folks right now. And when you got a list of folks that Diddy had on this, now I'm talking about politicians. I'm talking about law enforcement. I'm talking about judges. I'm talking about, entertainers. I'm talking about football players who is at parties and had a couple of people do some things you need to know to them. You feel me? But I'm just saying, when this stuff come down, and if it's the people that's close to Diddy, it's like I can't even use a damn example, Val, because you ain't watching Sopranos. But it's like even in 50 Power, you don't have the mob and the real mob guy because they moved in South and they always had a black book, So in Sean Combs' black book, they said 50% of his black book were millionaires. So do you understand the people that are probably in that book that was at his status or close to thereof?
Yeah.
And that many didn't have to be musically. I'm talking about investors, investment bankers, all type of things. Because when you jump into that end of the ocean, you better be ready to swim with the sharks. If not,
Right.
a big ass whale won't eat you up. So you can get eaten up by this whale, or you can swim with the sharks. You feel me?
Yeah.
So.
And yes, let me get to the comments here. Tina Michelle says she never, and we're talking about Kim Porter, never really finished the book, but she says that the facts seem like they were pretty accurate. And Mercedes said that I think they're saying that to try to cover their butts. Daniel Nelson, he says Albie Sure is calling for the investigation into Kim's passing. That's definitely right. And then Tina agrees with what you mentioned regarding Aaron Hall. And of course, Tina Michelle, that Albie Sure is finishing his documentary now because remember, he got sick and all that. And of course, Mercedes.
He got blackballed. Albie Shore should have had more than one damn album, Val. If it wasn't for New Jack City, Albie Shore, nobody knew who the hell he was.
Mm-hmm. And Mercedes on that beat says Jay-Z is next.
Correct.
Okay, Tina Michelle also says Beyonce is separating assets and executives quitting. Diddy was in charge of the body count for all the folk he documented. That's why it's intertwined. Politics, lawyers, athletes, and S-Beam. Now, see, now she mentioned S-Beam. Now, this is the thing that I'm a little nervous about. Now, what ended up happening, Jeffrey Epstein knew all of these people. They were in his books. There was a lot of dignitaries and famous people and very wealthy people that was listed in, kind of the paperwork of the things he did on this island, which was
including Trump.
Exactly. But a lot of these things were redacted, and you didn't quite see when they kind of exposed some of it. A lot of it was redacted. So they have supposedly Diddy on suicide watch. I don't want this child to get Epsteined, because I think if he says, I'm going to start talking and let people know, okay, well, these are some of the people that were at these white parties, and this has
Black
happened.
Party, the white party, the blue party,
all that stuff. And here's the thing: that's the reason why I now know this. Why the Homeland Security and everybody else 6 months ago came and took all of this out of his house.
Correct.
This was to build the case, and leaking that video of the hotel where Puff allegedly claimed he paid $50,000 for that to totally go away. But
No, it wasn't that. He paid $50,000 to the dude to hold for 7 years because he knew after 7 years statute of limitations. So the situation with that was exactly. So after 7 years, the dude could do what he wanted. So he waited 7 years, and the dude released that. And then he had no idea that Diddy was going to get caught up. And once Diddy got caught, my man released the video, and now they had the video. So it goes back to what you just said also a moment ago, Val, that like the Epstein situation, that Diddy had all these people connected, intertwined, or whatever with him. When you are in a situation like that, and I told you earlier, when the feds come, they already got you. When the feds come and when they show you, they already got you. And if you look at the same scenario that's going on even with power, these dirty ass cops, excuse my French, they're going to work with you. They're going to do some things, but then you got a couple cops that's I got some, just going to say I got some people I know that's on that side of the house. And they gonna work with you, but they gonna stick you up at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Our famous CPD. I remember as a kid running around Chicago back in the 80s. I mean, police catch you and going to my cousin's house in New York, police catch you. I mean, it was like free fall. And they've cleaned a lot of the police departments up. But when you got somebody like this with Diddy, who's got those type of names in a black book like Epstein had, Val, that spells only one thing: trouble. And again, you only mentioned the RICO charges. All 5 of his charges, right now, he's facing 185 years. And according to Ricky, CBS's legal analyst this morning, she said if he's found guilty on one of them, he's basically found guilty on all.
I'm trying to get to. I don't follow Jay-Z on IG, but according to Mercedes, I did not see that. That's
on one side of the house. Beyonce's on the other. They said they've been living separately for right now about a year. If you notice, they had been together for about 8, 9, 10 months. When Jay-Z out, he's out. When Beyonce out, she with Blue Ivy.
Yeah, and then of course I see Tina Michelle said Cat Williams has got his popcorn. That's horrible.
Yeah, Cat Williams, because you know why? Because y'all try to make Cat look crazy as hell, and Cat told you. And Shannon Song just re-interviewed him again the other day, and the first thing Cat says, "Did I tell you what I said?" Don't be lying. I'm telling you, it's just crazy because there's Val, one thing about it, and you know as well as I know, and everyone on the podcast tonight, especially if you grew up in the 80s, right? Early 90s. Your mama or your grandmama always told you one thing. What was that? There's your side, there's my side, and then there's
the truth. Then there's the truth. Oh my goodness. And here's the thing. I know Mercedes on that beat says, I no longer think Kanye is crazy though.
Oh, hey, and I gotta shout out to my girl. What's up, Tab? Tab Moses. Tab is in the house. Put her question back up, Val.
Oh no,
that's my girl.
She said side question. When did Ashton Kutcher started advocating for and running his own Predator team? He did do that, right? Was that when he went to Diddy houses?
Correct. And what he did was he was the one that was responsible. That's funny that Tab mentioned that, because he was the one that was responsible for introducing Justin Bieber to Diddy. And if y'all haven't seen the video yet, because I know they already showed the video of Diddy hitting Meek Mill behind the set. But anyway, if you haven't seen the video, the other one, that Ashton Kutcher had already introduced Justin Bieber to Diddy as he was trying to bring him up like he was trying to do with Chris Brown. And they caught Justin Bieber at a party with, of all people, Odell Beckham for Beckham's birthday. And I'm going to leave it at that. You got to watch the video. But if that was true, then now you've implicated Odell Beckham, who is an NFL star. So it goes back to kind of what Stephen A. Smith said this week. There's a lot of people and a lot of people we don't know about.
Right. So I feel like more.
You know how basketball. You know, you weave a basketball. You just go get the weave. You just start weaving the basket.
Yeah, I know. And Mercedes says, my heart goes out to Justin Bieber. He's another person that has gone on the side of for Jesus. He's
Correct.
was a part at one point. He was a part of one of these mega churches. I can't think of the name of it right now, but now I just know that he's been extremely quiet, married, and
Yep.
over there somewhere, like totally,
Yeah,
whatever.
because he's chilling.
And
He's like, let me step away from all this. And your girl, Tina, just said about Kanye West was Mace replacement. The difference was on there, Tina, was that when Ye came out of the shy, Kanye was crazy as hell. So he wasn't getting in Diddy's camp to getting smacked on and did any of that stuff. At that time, if you remember, Kanye was like side swiping my boy Twister, trying to move Common out the way. See, we really didn't have a deep rap set at the crib. You know what I'm saying? We always been
not
house
in
music.
Chicago.
Yeah, we've
No.
always been house music, old disco, so forth and so on. Our rap stars, they would kick it with us. I used to hang out. Back in the day, Twister would come up to the school and kick it. A lot of parties. Common would be out, downtown off 87, over High Park, downtown doing stuff. So getting to them wasn't hard to get to because we was all just everybody kicking at the same places. But when you're looking at a rap scene like New York and LA at that time, who was beefing and was warring, and this is where the headquarters of the record labels were at, then you got some things because it clearly shows that in order for you to be signed over here, Val, you got to sell your
Right.
soul to the devil. If you can sell your soul to the devil, keep it pushing. I mean, look at your boy Suge Knight. His whole entire record label is built of Crips and Bloods. So you think that you can be on a record label with Crips and Bloods and you ain't gonna do some damage or have some damage done? Shit, they showed you that in the movie.
Well, all I know is that there is more to come. There's more to come that's going to be coming out. This story is consistently and constantly developing. And Mercedes, she says, yeah, so many people we looked up to and loved. That's the thing that hurts. That hurts me to the core. And especially for the folks, they died of pneumonia. Oh, they died of some other issue. And then it comes back to say, what? Was Biggie Smalls going to leave Bad Boy? Is that why he ended up? We don't hear from him no more.
Biggie was leaving Bad.
Kim Porter. She's had 2-3 kids by this man. Oh, she's gonna write a tell-all book. Was the pneumonia something else? Like, it has me questioning everything and we have to say it for legal purposes, for entertainment purposes only. All of this is alleged now. However, the RICO charges, that's in black and white. That's out there. And so I don't know. And here's
go get a big box of Frosted Flakes and some milk and pour you a big bowl of Frosted Flakes with a big spoon, like we just sit back and watch Conjunction Junction. Remember that on Saturday morning? Conjunction Junction, what's your function? Right. Y'all too young if y'all don't know that. But you get you some Frosted Flakes, and I would sit up late night, eat you some cereal because this about to be entertaining. And the crazy part about it, watch how many people snitch on each other. You talking about snitches get stitches? No. Like D.L. Hughley said, snitches come home for Christmas.
Oh my gosh. I guess they do. And here's Tina says, I feel like justice is being served. So many people had to be silent now. And now it's the news at 9. And like I said, here we go. Yeah. Diddy. Oh, I didn't know this. Diddy's daddy worked for Frank Lucas. Remember American Gangster? Yeah. Remember that movie, American Gangster?
Frank Lucas was real. And here's the thing I want to leave, since you guys are listening. And Tina's chiming in, Tab, you chiming in, Mercedes. I want to know this. This is Coach Tony question to you guys before we jump out of here. Because of what's going on, and you're looking at this fool Young Money down in Atlanta, you're looking at young Dolph just got murdered, and these fools just came on. Don't know if you heard the trial. I was telling Val earlier this morning, just came on and doing the trial. talking about they was going to rob Young Dolph for 100 stacks, and they couldn't get it out of it, and all they got was $800, and now they losing their life and they gone. And Young Money, he down there acting a fool. And your boy Six, with all his tattoos, he lost himself. So the question is this: with Diddy going down, because he's definitely going down, regardless of the fact he's going down. And Kills is already out of here. Young Thug is already having issues. Several of the top rappers are getting murdered. And Jay-Z got problems in his house. Only one I love right now is my homeboy, which I've always loved, is Fat Jizzo. Fat Joe's always been good, and Jeezy and all them, and T.I. But the thing is, what is happening in the land with hip-hop right now? We just celebrated 50 years of hip-hop. Could this possibly be the nuclear war or the bomb to take hip-hop down? Because the PWI don't want us to have it anyway. So I'm asking the question to you guys listening, could this be the one big bomb that can take hip-hop down?
Yeah, and we have it here. Tina says, so I'm like, yes, finally, the world is safer and the industry is finally going to musically, I guess, the changing of the guard. And Mercedes was like, all of this is insane, from the Nickelodeon quiet on the set to the Diddler. That's what people are now calling Diddy. They're calling him the Diddler. But like I said,
right,
I feel like
you can't call him that because Kills was a Pied Piper.
So all I have to say is, in regards to this, I say, guys, watch this. If you have any family members, and this is my public service announcement, if you have any family members, especially your nieces, nephews, children that's under the age of 21, if they have any interest in entertainment, number one, you have to be extremely careful and research the people of the folks that you might want them to be in contact with, or you don't allow it at all. And I say doing church plays is probably the safest thing to do. Tina Michelle was on our platform. Tina Michelle was on our platform earlier this year, and she taught, her daughter is a performer and also recording artist. Yep. And she talked about how demonic, and let me emphasize this for my Christian fam out here, how demonic some of the things that are out here in the entertainment world. And that's not just musically. I'm talking movies, I'm talking entertainment, all of it. And we have to be very careful. If you are someone, like I said, that has a young person that's interested in the entertainment industry, pray over them and be very vigilant in who you allow around or near your child or nephew or niece, or you have to be extreme. You need to be in the room. If they say, we'll take care of it. No. I need to be there. I need to have my eyes on this person at all times. I will not allow, if I can't be in the room while she's recording music that's supposed to be for everybody, if I can't be, no, she's not allowed, or he's not allowed to go to a party. No parties for you. We're about business. We do the business and we come out. But if people are not allowing you to do that, then you stay away from it, because here's the thing. There are so many Diddys. Diddy was trained. He was trained. When I saw an interview, when I saw someone talk about him earlier, they said he was very hungry when they knew him at the beginning of his career. And they said he was very hungry to get, to become something. But then when he got the power, it got twisted. And who knew? Who knew?
Yeah, because you know why, Val? Because the hungry came from when he got fired. Right? Go back and think. I've gotten fired. I mean, go back and many people on this podcast have probably been laid off of fire. You get hungry, especially if you're trying to go in a different direction. Your focus and your heart is, you all in. And that's exactly right. But the situation is, again, like my daughter. I love my daughter, Ashley, 29 years old. She has me laughing, her friends laughing. Her good friends, a couple guys she grew up with, they said, man, I never get going to school. Coach Tony was crazy as hell. I mean, I should walk up to the school, Val. I ain't joking. Hey, what's wrong? Hey, man, what you just say to my daughter? Hey, I walked in the cafeteria on this kid in 8th grade. What was that? You know, but again, I think what's happened, and I think Tina Michelle said it earlier because she's close to that with her daughter, and as she's touching it, and that is, we are parents. We believe those that are trying to help and assist. So we do give them. And one thing about Black folk, and we know this from the school shootings to mass murders and everything else, we are of the ethnicity of always forgiving and having the kind heart and saying, God, we forgive you with this and with that, where the other people are trying to put us away. If we jaywalked and put 2 toes outside the white line, they want $500 and 2 weeks in jail. You know what I'm saying? But they can jaywalk across the street, and all they do is ask them, don't do it again. So we got to understand, we have to be as vigilant as they are. And Val, I think you just made a great point. If you want my child or my nephew or my niece, and my nephew's been on this show already before, Val, both of them, and they're rappers. And they have me heavily involved. No, send me the contract. I'm going to send it to my lawyer. I'm going to send it to the people that be. I know you got your lawyer, but I got mine. And we're going to find out what's in it. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn if it take a week, 2 weeks, or 2 months. If you really want me, you'll still be there. Now, if you don't, that's cool. Right. We can push it. We can go independent. But, it's crazy. And like what Tab just said, it's an, what did she just say? I can barely believe I got to get my glasses on. Read that for me, Val. I can barely see it on my phone.
All right. So let me go back because people are really commenting. This is Tina. She said, I teach my mentees to run businesses and own themselves. They know every line and every breath of it. And then, of course, Tina, she mentioned, she's like, Puff has always been twisted. Mercedes says this is where the parents step in and teach to watch the warning signs and to have a voice and to stand by your voice. Tina also says he just didn't have the money to match the imagination when he was driving the Yugo.
But when he got the money, he no longer needed the imagination. Once he got the money, he created the imagination, and America gave it to him.
Right. And of course, this is the other thing. Mercedes says it's so easy now to go independent. And I say, to avoid the crazy, independent is best. One of my favorite artists, music artists, Eric Roberson. I don't know if anyone has heard of the soul artist Eric Roberson. He's based out of Jersey. He was just recently here in Chicago at the City Winery. He says that he has always turned down the record labels because he saw the contracts that never paid him enough. And he knew he could do that marketing, that A&R, all that stuff himself. And so, and Coach Tony, I'm going to do this. Hopefully this will make your heart smile. You're going to protect your children. You are going to protect your children.
That's the 1-2 right there. That's the 1-2.
That's the 1-2 right there. So if you want your kids to continue to grow up and experience life and not be, I want to call it, dirty by the craziness that is the entertainment industry, that is the music industry, that is this thing, you be right there with them, arms around them, and say, I got you, and we'll do this together. I love
this. And this is why I absolutely love LeBron James, and people dog his ass out. I love LeBron James for the simple fact of the matter is that this is Bronny. And so if that was Lil Tone right there, and I had an opportunity, me and you had a $10 million podcast, and he's coming out of college, and I had an opportunity to give him $1 million to start a podcast, even though he may suck, I don't care. I'm going to give it to him because that's my man's. That's my real man's in him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get that to him just like LeBron. LeBron made Bronny's contract so easy. He said, we're not gonna worry about America talking about you. You know why? Because I'm already making $250 million with the Lakers. So do me a favor. Keep the money. Take Bron's whole rookie contract, which is $7 million. Take it out of my money. So therefore, you can't complain that we paid him because I paid him. It's like me giving him an allowance. So when you're looking at this whole scenario of everything, Tab just said it a moment ago. The only difference is, I know you want to record shows, you want to do this and that, but when it comes to the industry, you have to, like you just said, Val, you have to let go, right? There's a point that you got to let go. But then, but you don't have to let go without being there. Look at Tina Knowles. She let go, but she never let Beyonce go to the point where she wasn't under her watch. And now look at Beyonce right now.
Well, see, then Beyonce's a bad example at this point because there's bad stuff coming out about her right now. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave that alone. But here's,
but everybody go to the Wall Street. There's a dude in Wall Street that's worth $100 million.
Right. So I'm going to let that go, and we're going to talk about. So Tina says that we had to turn down every contract. My daughter owns herself. And then Mercedes says, I wanted to put my daughter into modeling so bad, but I know how bad the entertainment business is. I just refuse. And then, of course, Tabitha said, that's so awesome for you and your daughter, giving that compliment to Tina. I hope and pray she goes far and safely. And then, of course, that thank you come here. But this is Tina. Music business is not the industry.
Hey, Tina, that is not the industry, it's the industry. See, it ain't the industry, but it's the industries.
In the streets.
See, bingo. That's what we don't get. You know, and I'm dead serious, Val. You go back. That's why my knowledge, and I love it, and I know I got to get back on Wise at 5. I love old school hip hop because they talk about that. You know, it's the industry, but it's in the streets. They're gonna give it to you industry wide because that's what the PWI want us to, because that's how the paperwork is written up. But when you get up in here, we in the streets. Period. You know, Suge Knight gonna give you the industry, version of what you need to sign. But once you walk up in the Death Row Records, he gonna give you in the streets behind them doors. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand there's both sides of the ball, right? You know how they always talk about, Val, there's two sides of the ball? You have to understand both sides of the ball.
And Tina says, yes, a different example, please. So she says, look at Keke Palmer. She's amazing.
Yep.
Indy and she and her mom rock together.
Right.
So
but both are beautiful, Tina. Both are beautiful, and there's not always a mom-daughter duel. You know what I mean? Somebody got to ride in the back seat because I'm driving. So there's only one shotgun seat. I ain't getting in the back seat. So I'm just saying.
This has been a lively
I'm too tall to be in the back seat, Val. I can't be in the back seat with these knees. I'm too tall to be in the back seat. If y'all won't push the seat up, you won't even let the seat up for me, Val. I'm your brother. You leaning on back right there like, come on, man.
So, guys, myself and Coach will keep you informed on what's been going on. We're going to be keeping eyes on this particular story. But for myself and Coach Tony, we want to thank you guys for joining our very lively discussion. Discussion on next week coming up. Coach, what is happening with this wonderful thing called the Pull Up Podcast Show?
Let me tell you, I need everybody tonight to welcome my guest next week. And I need everybody on this show tonight. I need you on the Pull Up Podcast Show. I have got, and I've worked my butt off, and Val can tell you, I have got the insight next week to the WNBA because I have got the one and only Coach Danielle Viglione, who is the assistant coach of the Los Angeles Sparks. She gonna be able to talk about Candace Parker. She gonna be able to talk about Lisa Leslie. She gonna be able to talk about Rakia Jackson, who just got on the all-rookie team. She gonna talk about Hamby, who's just put up some big thing. And you'll have the opportunity to find out the inside scoop on what's really going on with the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and what a real coach inside the WNBA, how they prepare different. How did you prepare when you played Chicago versus when you played Indiana? And is Asia Wilson the real deal? and we're gonna talk everything women's basketball, and I'm just super duper duper excited. So again, don't meet me there next Monday. Beat me there.
So that is this coming Monday, September 30th.
30th, 8
Yes,
p.m.
September
Central.
30th. 8 and we're going to be excited because the WNBA is currently in their playoffs right
The
now. So we're really,
playoffs.
really excited
Yes.
about that. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Springer, for putting that in the chat. That's right. Danielle Vigioni will be here on next Monday. And of course, you know, guys, a DJ saved my life. It is the ebook that's available right now. It's part memoir, part ABCs of how to start your own podcast. Scan the QR code, learn a little bit more about it. But of course, to order the book, you could do that or go to purelighthousemedia.net. Oh my goodness. And of course, if you want to learn how to do your own podcast and join our community with Interludes Extra presents Find Your Voice, join our community via Patreon at patreon.com/interludes. Oh my goodness. And thank you so much for that. Tina says she loved the book. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
Man. Hey man, we drop bombs like tonight. We drop bombs like Hiroshima tonight. Man, what?
What? I'm gonna sound like Little John. What? Okay.
Yeah. What? Man, come on now, Val. You know how we do. That's what happens when you hang out with Coach Tony like that. You know, good things start happening. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh. On behalf of myself and Coach Tony, we thank you guys for joining us. Join us on next week. Of course, we'll have some more exciting guests and of course, reviewing the fall season via feature films that are coming out over the next couple of months. But you know what we say? Our word is
Peace.
Peace.